what's up, hello, my name is Emma and today is the Victoria Schwab signing in New York City. It is 10:30 in the morning. I am walking to the train station to go to the New York City launch for the Savage song, which is Victoria Schwab's newest release. I have to lug around this giant bag full of books and camera equipment because the other really exciting thing about today is that I'm interviewing Victoria Schwab before the event. So that video will be coming soon and I am just bursting with excitement for today. I think it's going to be so wonderful, and although I am already exhausted from lugging around this heavy ass bag for like the 5-minute walk it takes from my house to my train station, I am so looking forward to today. Alright, so I'm currently on the train. The lighting is a little off and obviously the sound is a little crazy, especially with people sitting all around me, but I always update you guys on what I'm reading in these vlogs. So I'm currently reading A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab, or it's published by V.E. Schwab this time. I'm reading this for the biennial bibliothon and it worked out perfectly that I'm gonna have finished it by the time I get to meet her. So I'm really excited about it. I only have like 70 pages left, which I can very easily finish before 6 p.m. today. If it happens, I'll make Michael sit with me while I have to read the last 20 pages or something. But I am loving this book. I'm so excited to have it fresh in my mind when I get to talk to her. And also, this train is air conditioned and it feels wonderful, and there goes the bells that interrupt me in every single vlog. Look who I found! Michael! I'm here with Michael Booklion and we're currently walking to Central Park Zoo. Who knows if we'll actually find it, because we were pretty shocked that we got out of the same subway entrance.
We've never actually found each other at the correct spot before. One of us always goes in the wrong direction.
Yeah, we kind of suck at New York City, despite we go here like once a month together.
This wind is real appreciated.
Oh, I love the wind. It's so nasty out. It is hot
we are
and
sweating
humid.
Out of all of the surfaces.
And we're gonna go see
all
animals.
All of the body surfaces.
Okay, so we're currently at the Central Park Zoo. I did not vlog anything. I'm really sorry.
We forgot.
It was so hot too. Like I didn't want to have to continually take out my phone.
And we were distracted by the animals.
True. It's a good point.
You can't live life behind the camera because you're gonna miss.
Sure? But that's all I do.
We're YouTubers. I guess I shouldn't say that. So we're gonna go to the gift shop and then either take a nap or go to Union Square.
Who knows? With Michael and the real Adam Silvera. We're just chilling. It's like 2 o'clock before the event. We're waiting for Victoria to get here. We're gonna go get food.
We need food.
I have all of my books and we hung out in the basement, which was really cool. There were a lot of books.
It was a rave in the basement.
It was very cool.
We
are at lunch. We're at Max Runner. If you followed quite a few of my book signing vlogs, you know that me and Michael always come here. We're out with Adam. Adam's trying to get his spotlight shot. I got a burger. And Michael got his pizza. How's your pizza this time? Is it still floppy? I'll take that as a yes.
Hey, what's up? Hello, it's Michael and Emma.
Nice. We are here. We are waiting for Victoria Schwab to arrive so we can interview her. We have this cute little setup here that hopefully is going to look good on camera. I am dying of nerves, but I'm still pretty excited, and Michael's being an idiot to make me feel better, which always does make me feel better, so it's okay. So we're hiding in the back of Books of Wonder. I'm eating a slutty brownie because it is delish. Is it not
2016,
amazing?
Emma.
It's amazing.
Don't judge it for its sexual preferences.
So
That was a
I
joke.
just interviewed Victoria Schwab. How do you think it went, Michael?
Damn, mommy, it was so good.
I'll take that as a compliment. I think it went really well. You guys will obviously see the footage, but I think it went really well. Michael's distracting me. I can't even vlog anymore.
Oh,
We're waiting.
sorry.
We're
See
waiting
these
for
braids?
the signing to start. So I'll vlog more then.
First of all, hi guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. This is like, so I really dislike birthdays because I don't like being reminded of my own mortality. I legitimately like leaving my house and talking about books. And so this is kind of, I cannot think of the better way to spend a birthday than to like spend an hour hugging a cow-shaped pillow on the floor and then to come out here and talk to you. So, for anyone who doesn't know who I am, my name is Victoria. I sometimes go by VE, and I think the easiest thing for me to say is that I write about the lines between things. I write about the lines between life and death, between good and evil, between hero and villain, and in The Savage Song, I write about the lines between human and monster. This book is essentially about what it means to be human in a monstrous world, and what it means to be a monster in a world where humans are the worst monsters around. There are 3 different kinds of monsters in this book: the Korsai, the Malkai, and the Sunai. And they are all varying degrees of terrifying, but not a single monster in this book was made by a monster. Every single monster in this book was made by a human. So the whole, the germ, the seed of this story is this idea of what if violence started breeding actual monsters? What if violent acts had an aftermath to them, had some kind of spillover? And so the Korsai are these shadows with teeth, as I call them, that are born of non-lethal acts of violence. The Malkai, and the Korsai feed on flesh and bone, alive or dead, it doesn't matter. The Malkai are the products of murders. And in addition to looking like the murderers, to having a very kind of eerie echo resonance to the murderers that made them, they feed on blood. And then the Sunai, the rarest of the monsters, of which August Flynn is one, my teenage boy, they are soul eaters. They are the products of mass tragedies. And they can only feed on the souls of those who have committed their own crimes, of those who have made other monsters. And so, unlike the Korsai who eat anyone and the Malkai who eat anyone, the Sunai have this kind of clause in their contract, if you will. And yet, August Flynn is struggling because even though you could technically say that he's a good kind of monster, he only feeds on bad people, he doesn't want to be a monster at all. And so this is a book about what it means to want to change who and what you are, and about coming to realization of what you can change and what you can't and what you shouldn't have to. So that's my little tiny spiel. I'm kind of just getting used to it. You do this thing when you go and you talk about books where over time you become more and more comfortable. This is only my 3rd day talking about this book, and it's very scary because it's a very personal book, and I don't know how to articulate it yet. You'll have to forgive me tonight if at any point I just start rambling, aside from only having like 4 hours of sleep and having a lot of sugar in my system. It's a very emotional and a very personal book for me, and I'm still learning the ways for me to talk about it in concise, coherent forms. So you'll forgive me in advance if I ramble talking about it. I'll try to do my best to be articulate. Might have better articulation on the page.
That's why they all talk. That's the hope, right? That's funny. So I have a couple questions from you guys to start. Maybe I'll ask a couple, we'll have some fun, and then where you guys will come and get your book signed. So to start, how much of yourself goes into your characters?
So when I first started writing, I thought I was told a lot that like every book had an avatar, like a character that closest resembled the author of the book. And the more books that I've written, the more I realize that every single character in my books is me. They're different facets. Every hero, every villain, every protagonist and antagonist is an aspect of my own personality. Sometimes they're aspirational, like Delilah Bard is often the person I wish I could be. She feels fear, then she pushes straight past it. Other characters, like like Holland are characters I might not want to be, but probably reflect who I actually am a lot more. And so, right? I don't know what that says about me. Victor Vale is entirely autobiographical, you know? So, but that's to say that the good and the bad and everything in between, those are a reflection of me. I think that, you know, I talk about writing a lot as a process of catharsis. It's really, really wonderful to be a published author and to have readers, but every single time I sit down to write a book, I am writing for myself first. Until that book is done, until it gets sent away and becomes everybody else's books, that book is just for me. It's what I'm using to kind of figure out my life and to figure out myself. And so because of that, each and every character is kind of an exploration. In Savage Song, both Kate and August are different explorations of anxiety, of what it means to not feel comfortable in your skin, in your head. Kate has a very adversarial relationship with anxiety. She pushes it to the side, she buries it down, she sees it as a weakness and thinks that she has to constantly portray strength. August's anxiety is this kind of circuitous thinking that is literally threatens to spiral into insanity at any point. As someone who has really awesome circuitous thinking habits, it was a character very close to home. And so this, I would say that that's the thing I'm exploring in this book specifically, but they're all me. My head gets very cluttered. This is my 11th book, and I feel like there's a lot of people talking in my head at this point.
Maybe some of them need to like go take a nap with
They can go lay down with the body pillow at some point, just chill out. I just want to like let Holland go like take a nap for a little while, like be safe. Never gonna happen.
Okay, next question. In your new book, The Savage Song, there are different types of monsters, each born in a different way, which we discussed already. What was the inspiration for each, and how did you come up with them?
Great question. So anyone who has followed me for any length of time knows that I have a pretty strict rule when I'm writing, in that I don't want to write an established supernatural thing. So in The Near Witch, I wrote about witches, but I had to devise my own rule system. I didn't want to pull from any existing system. In The Archive, which is about a library of the dead, I didn't want to pull from an existing system. I built my own afterlife mythos. With Savage Song, I wanted to write about monsters, and I knew that, but I didn't want to write about any existing monsters. But I still love archetype, right? So the difference between archetype and stereotype is in the execution. It's a very, very careful line. And I love playing with archetypes. I came from studying fairy tales, and it's all about archetypal influence. So I knew I wanted to have these 3 kinds of monsters. And so what I actually did is I was like, maybe I'll have a demon, a vampire, and an angel, right? And I was like, but I don't want to have a demon and a vampire and an angel. I want to have something completely new. But I used each of those as kind of the scaffolding. So the Corsai, these flesh and bone eaters, are my demonic presence. They don't have a lot of self-identity. They are just a shadow force. They're kind of absolute darkness. The Malkai, which are stronger at night and feed on blood, on vital substance, are my vampiric force. And then the Sunai, my soul eaters, are my angelic force. They are, one of them, Leo, sees himself as a sort of god. If you think about it, you have Corsai and Malkai who both eat anybody, innocent or guilty, but the Sunai can only eat guilty people. And so by a twisted logic of it, you can see how they would conceive of themselves as a cosmic cleanup crew, as being put there to take care of the problem, the disease itself, and not a symptom of the disease, you know?
So you made up the word, like the name.
Yes.
How did that go for you?
Literally like the same way that I do anything, which is just to get like a blank pad of paper and start writing down things until they sound nice in my head. I come from a poet, like I started in poetry, not fiction, and so I'm really, really careful about syllabolic rhythms and patterns, and basically at the end of the day, things just have to sound really nice. And so I knew I wanted Sunais to have a smoother, resonant sound. I knew I wanted the Corsai and Malkais to have hard C sounds. Like basically that was it. And I just kind of wanted 3 sounds that sounded well together.
Could go in the nice handy dandy.
And can go in the nice little children's rhyme on the back, which should not lead you into thinking this is a lighthearted frolic of a book. I do appreciate that if you kind of squint at it, it looks a little bit like a skull. like the violin body looks a little bit skullish, because you should take the children's rhyme on the back, which a 5-year-old girl in the book sings while dancing on a subway platform and August is standing nearby and it makes him very uncomfortable because everything makes August very uncomfortable. You should not take that to be an indicator of the lightness or darkness of this book.
Well, it is like a dark red, almost like blood, so I don't know how much confusion there is. Anyways.
Anyone who's read any of my other books should probably not confuse this as a light, frolicky romance.
Honestly, of all your covers, I feel like A Darker Shade of Magic has the most illustrated, has the most like reader friendly.
It could look like a romp, right? This is like, oh dear.
Weird. If any of your books meet, who would they be and what would they talk about? Or do?
I have multiple answers to this question. I've given one before, but I actually think it might be the funniest thing to put Victor Vale and Delilah Bard in a room together, because I'm not actually sure either one would ever say a word. They're like such internal people that I think they would literally stand backs against opposite walls and just have like a stare down at each other. And I imagine Lila would like take out a knife and kind of like clean her nails with it and just like maintain eye contact the entire time, and Victor Vale would just like crack his knuckles and stare and and then it would just like nobody would ever talk, and then when they left the room they would be buddies. Like I just feel like from that moment on they probably would have like a really nice respect for each other.
They would have like an internal private joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of them would just like chuckle at the end of it, like they had like shared a whole conversation, and then they would just go on about their way. Exactly, besties.
They could go on a road trip like that. I like it.
Killing people by the end of it.
So, next question: what are your favorite books, and or what are you currently reading?
Oh my goodness. So I'm very busy, right? But I try to read between 100 and 125 books a year. Right? And that means a lot of books, right? I love that. It's like a creative well refill, but I'm also always kind of really bad at this question because I can't remember. I think like most of you, of course there are the books we read when they first come out, and you should totally read Savage Song like after tonight. But most of us like buy a lot of books and then end up reading some of them like 4 years later when we're in the mood for a particular book. Like my parents don't understand because I'll buy all of these books and they'll be like, "You're not going to read those. You have like 200 other books." And I'm like, "Yes, but I have to be in the right mood for one of those books." It's no surprise. I'm a huge fan of Lee Bardugo and the Six of Crows, right? Because I think that Cass Brecker and Delilah Bard would be besties. I saw a piece of fan art that had the two of them just sitting up on top of like pile of cash, and I was like, that right there. So I'm eagerly waiting for Crooked Kingdom. I'm a huge fan of Neil Gaiman, obviously. Anybody who follows me online.
This is brand new information.
This is totally brand new information. And I'm really excited for the American Gods television series, and I hope it's wonderful. I'm trying to think what I'm currently binging a series called it's called the John Cleaver series by Dan Wells. I Am Not a Serial Killer. There are 5 books out right now, and it is fabulous. I just finished Poppy Midnight, and that was delicious, and also had one of the best covers I have ever seen in my entire life. I thought I sold my soul to the cover gods, but I think that beat me there. I'm trying to think what else. I don't do well with like all-time favorites because I almost never reread. It's like one of my great shames, right? Like I almost never reread a book. In fact, I just moved into my first apartment and I built these like 16-foot long bookshelves, and I shelved the entire collection by color. And everyone, like half the internet was like, ooh, and half the internet was like, you monster. Find books, right? Aside from being highly visual and being able to find books by color, I could do it because I almost never reread. And so once I've read a book, it becomes like part of my library, and I have that library complex where I can't get rid of it. I need to have the fruit forever, and one day my books will bury me alive. It's bound to happen. But yeah, I wanted to create a piece of art that essentially would make me happy every time I saw it. And actually the weirdest part is that I'm much better at organizing a color-coded library, like a color-coded bookshelf, because I get a book and then I bring it home and I'm like, black. And then it just like goes in like that particular part of the spectrum, and I love it. I highly recommend color shelves.
Do you ever have a problem where this bunny is like multicolored and you don't know where to put it?
Okay, this is my confession. So underneath the bookshelves are some cabinets, and in one of those cabinets is what I call the ugly spine cabinet. And every now and then I have really, really fabulous books that have really ugly and or hugely problematic spines. To give you color-wise. So like one of those perfect examples is Winger. Oh my God. Winger has a a red, white, and blue like cross-checkered spine, and it fits nowhere. Trust me, I have tried it in my entire spectrum. And then there are just some like shades that I have almost no pink books, and because of that, like books that had a pink spine had to go in the shelf. So I have like a whole little cabinet underneath the bookshelf for like spines who just don't quite.
But you know they're there.
I know they're there, and I check on them every now and then. Peek inside. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you multiplying again?
All right. Next question is, which character do you find the hardest, easiest, all those things to write?
I'm gonna limit it to Savage Song for right now because, again, 11 books and lots of characters. I'm very sorry. So when I first started writing the Savage Song, it's told in third person, close narrative, right? So 2 different perspectives, Kate and August, both in third person. And it wasn't always that way. When I sat down to write the book the very first time, August's voice came first. And it just spilled out in first person. Like I knew him down to his core from the moment that I started writing him. And I could not get Kate to speak. I tried to write Kate's perspective. I knew her story and I knew I wanted to tell it, and I could not get Kate to open up. She's such a closed off character that I couldn't get inside her head. She wouldn't let me in, so to speak. And I ended up shifting both perspectives into third person so that I could get her voice as well, because I did not want to tell the story without her voice, and I'm just persnickety and really didn't want to tell a first person, third person combination story. It's not my jam. So Kate is by far the hardest character I've ever written. And it's the same thing as like a few other characters, the ones that are very closed off, as Mackenzie Bishop was when I first started writing the archive. You know, I just can't get her to talk, ever. That's not my fault. I hate her. I can't get Kate to talk. The same way that Delilah Bard doesn't talk, and it's fine because it's in third person. And so I end up
a thing. Your ladies don't.
Well, my ladies are Slytherins. They're like highly badass cutthroat bamfs, and they don't always want to talk. And I think that's okay because one of the things I really like doing is the inverse trope. I like my male characters to be a bit more emotive. Like I like them to actually have those vulnerabilities and be dealing with them, because I want more of that in books. I want that male vulnerability, and I want that feminine strength. And so, but yeah, it was a matter of finding that balance. August just has, and I think I'm much more like August than Kate, and so August has always spoken to me much more loudly and much clearer. And Kate is just a resistant force. I still feel like it's like pulling teeth. I'm working on book 2, and it's like, come on, Kate, talk. You know? And I do this thing when I start writing where I bring up the therapist chair, where I essentially open up a blank document and sit my character down as though it's a therapy session. And you know, like in like teens in therapy, and you like sit there. I did this all the time in therapy, and I just cross my arms, like, hey, you know. And I feel like Kate does that, and it's about like prying loose those small truths over time. But yeah, she was the hardest character.
Hardest.
Yes.
How rude.
I know, right? You're trying to make my job difficult or something.
It's totally all her fault. It had nothing to do with
It is. It's not me.
So me and Michael, we just left the signing. I had a really, really wonderful time. How was your time?
10 out of 10. Do recommend. Would go again.
Did you tell her that you were the one that sent her the tweet of slapping your legs?
My thighs? My juicy, milky thighs? I regret that. Cut that out. Yeah, I did tell her. She was like, oh.
Victoria is a sweet little cinnamon roll. I adore her. She was so nice. Listen, cinnamon roll is like the highest level of affection you can give to anyone. I don't know what Michael's saying.
Did we?
I had a really, really wonderful day. I loved getting to talk to Victoria.
We hit the zoo. We got Dippin' Dots. We got lunch with Adam Silvera. I did vlog that. I interviewed Victoria Schwab. I ate really good brownies. Got book signed. There's the subway.
I found the subway!
We found the subway!
Alrighty, so welcome to another very exhausted and tired ending to an Emma Books vlog. I feel like I don't have much else to say about today other than I had a really, really fantastic time at this signing. So just to let you guys know what I did get signed, I got Vicious, The Archived, The Unbound, A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and This Savage Song. I think that's all of them. I don't think I'm missing any. So those are all the books that Victoria signed for me, and I just had a really, really wonderful day. I had so much fun meeting all of you. If you went there and couldn't find me, I am really, really sorry. I had to head out there really early to get a train home because I was just dying of exhaustion. But I go to book signings all the time, so I'm sure in the future we will meet, but I'm really, really sorry if I had to miss you this time around. I just had such a great time at this event. I loved being able to meet Victoria finally and getting to interview her, and just it was crazy, man. It was so, so good. I had the most amazing time, and I hope anyone that went did as well. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!